Welcome to section 3.4, day 2, more slope-intercept form. The objectives today are to rewrite equations into slope-intercept form and to write and solve equations from given situations. So first we're going to graph the equation 3x plus 2y equals 6, and we're going to state the slope and the y-intercept. As you'll notice, this equation is not in slope-intercept form, so we are going to rewrite it first into slope-intercept form, and then we're going to graph using that y-intercept and the slope. So I'm going to rewrite my equation, 3x plus 2y equals 6. We need to rewrite this in the slope-intercept form, so we need to get the y by itself, which means we need to put the x onto the right side of the equation and then add it to the constant. So the first step I'm going to do is to minus 3x from both sides. And we get 2y equals negative 3x plus 6. And then y is not by itself yet, so we need to divide every part by 2 to undo the multiplication. And we are left with y by itself equals negative 3 halves x plus 3. With this equation, we now know our slope, because remember our formula, our equation is y equals mx plus b. So our slope is negative 3 halves. And our intercept, our b, is 3. We're going to use these to graph. So our y-intercept is 3. Remember, this is my x, this is my y-axis. So I'm going to go up 3 on the y, which is right here. And then I'm going to use my slope of negative 3 halves. As I go from left to right, I'm going to go down 3 over 2. So my next point is right here. And I'm going to do that again, down 3 over 2. And I'm going to add one more just to make it easier to draw my line. Then we do our line. And make sure when you draw your lines, you have arrows at the ends, because this will go on forever in both directions. We always put arrows on the ends when we have an equation, just a regular equation and not in a word problem. So that is my graph of 3x plus 2y equals 6. We rewrote it into slope-intercept form, used our slope and our intercept to graph it. Here's graph the equation 3y minus x equals 2x, then state the slope and y-intercept. So like it says here, first rewrite and then graph. So again, I need to get my y by itself. I'm going to rewrite my equation. And again, remember, we want to get in the form y equals mx plus b. So we're going to add 6 to both sides. We get 3y equals 2x plus 6. And divide every term by 3. We get y equals 2/3 x plus 2. Again, we're going to identify our slope and intercept. So our m is 2/3. Our b, or our y-intercept, is 2. So m equals 2/3. And b equals 2, we're going to use the intercept to find our first point, which is right here. And we have a slope of 2/3. We're going to go up 2 over 3. And we're going to go up 2 over 3. And when we connect our dots, we should have a graph that looks like this. Yeah, not greatest line, but make sure you put your arrows on the ends. And that is the graph of my line. Again, make sure when you're doing these, give me 3 points when we're going from the slope and the intercept. Here we have graph the equation negative 4x equals 6 plus 2y, and we're going to state the slope and intercept again, and then graph. First, we need to rewrite this into slope-intercept form of y equals mx plus b. So we need to get the y's on the left. We need to get the x's to the right. So I'm rewriting this so we can work with it. First, I need to get my y's to the left, so I'm going to minus 2y from both sides. And I need to get my x's on the right, so I'm going to add 4x to both sides. We do that, this cancels, we get negative 2y equals 4x minus, or plus 6. So we have negative 2y equals 4x plus 6, divide everything by negative 2. And when we do this, we get y equals negative 2x minus 3. So in this case, our m is negative 2, and our b is negative 3. So our y-intercept is negative 3, so we're going to go from our y-axis, we're going to go down 3. And then we're going to use our slope of negative 2 to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. One of those things that's nice is you can actually reverse this. And remember, if we actually wrote the slope, we could write it as negative 2 over 1. We can move the signs around, so if we wanted to go backwards, remember this is my y, this is my x, this is equivalent to 2 over negative 1. So we could go up to backwards negative 1, up to backwards 1. So a way we can get points we don't want to run off our graph. And then we're going to draw a line through our points, put arrows on the ends, and we have graphed this equation that started out as negative 4x equals 6 plus 2y. So today we are working with slope-intercept form. Make sure you are writing in slope-intercept form, finding your intercept, finding your slope, and then graphing off of those. So here we have a word type problem, a situation problem. It says Gail pays $240 in advance on her account at the athletic club. Each time she uses the club, $15 is deducted from her account. Write a linear equation to model the amount left in the account, y, after x trips to the club. So we are working with slope-intercept form. So we want to see if we can identify a slope and an intercept in our word problem that we have. So in this one, whenever you see something that says each time or per, almost every time you see this, you're going to see that is a slope. It's a rate of change. Every time she does something, $15 is taken from her account. So we can use this as our slope. So our m, since we're deducting, is negative 15. And then we have to look at where did we start? Well, so when you look at a graph of this, you'd say, here's my trips. Remember, time. Trips are amount of times. And this is my money. Well, when she's at 0 trips, if she's sitting here at 0, her account still has $240 in it. That is my y-intercept. So $240 is my b, or just 240. We don't need the dollar symbol there. All right, so we know that we start with $240, so at 0 trips, she's at 240, and she's using $15 per trip. So now we can write our equation. Y equals negative 15x, because x is for trips, plus 240. This is an equation that models what is going on. And then if it said how many trips could she make, you would actually solve this. You'd put y as 0 and then solve for x to see how many trips there are. This one's just asking for the equation. So here is another real world problem. A camp program charges $50 registration fee and a daily amount. One camper paid $338 for 12 days and another camper paid $506 for 19 days. Create an equation to determine the bill for a camper who stays for 30 days. For this section, to write the equation on a line, because we're doing slope-intercept form, we need to have a slope and an intercept. So we need to look to see if we can figure out what our slope and intercept are. Well, in here, we have a camp program that charges $50 registration fee. This is my initial amount. So if I don't even go for a day, I just register, it costs me $50. This is my B. This is my intercept. Well, we need to get a slope then. And in this one, it doesn't tell us how much it charges per day, but it gives us some information. $338 for 12, $506 for 19. And if you think about this, if we were talking about like graphing it or wanted to see what our independent and dependent variables are, this always helps if you understand what are independent and dependent. So you remember, right, our here 12 days and 19 days. The amount of days is our independent variable, so that'd be our x-axis. The money, the amount you pay, is dependent on how many days you go, so our dollars is our dependent variable. So when you look at these, I am looking at 2 points. 12 days and $338 is the point 12,338. So we can look at it. 12 is our independent, 338 is our dependent. Our second point is 19 days and $506. Again, 19 is our independent, 506 is our dependent. So now we have 2 points, and we learned how to find slopes from 2 points earlier this chapter. So we are going to find the slope using these 2 points. So we take our y2, our m is y2, 506, minus y1, 338, all over 19 minus 12. This is 168 in the numerator over 7. And when we solve this, we find our slope is $24 a day. So we have an equation now. We have a slope. We have an intercept. We can write the equation as y equals our slope, 24, times the number of days, x, plus 50. And then it says, what's our bill at 30 days? Y equals 24 times 30 plus 50. And when you multiply this out, you get 720 plus 50. So our total cost is $770. So I have created my equation, and I have solved for 30 days. Like I said earlier, when you're looking at word problems, since we're in slope-intercept form, we are going to look for a slope and an intercept. Most of the time, it's going to be straight up like it was the last slide where we had a slope and intercept given to us, but sometimes you might have to find the slope. And in this problem, I'm showing you one of the ways you can go about finding the slope by using our slope formula. All right, that is all for section 3.4 day 2. Today we are going to be rewriting equations into slope-intercept form. We will be identifying the slopes and intercepts after we've rewritten the equations, and we will be graphing some off of those slopes and intercepts. Make sure you're showing all your work that is required and that is asked from the book. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.